Ladies and gentlemen, oh, this is gonna be hard. Alright, really challenging, but I'll try. Okay, GANYU, more GANYU, and some badass events. The most important of all of the events that we've possibly attained. Reason why is because you need a pet, and you definitely want that pet because it's gonna go away, and who knows when we're gonna get pets again. But yeah, that's basically what's going down. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the most significant, important event that they've ever released in Genshin. The Lost Riches event, which we've seen in this trailer, or in the 1.2 whatever things. So we're going to be hanging out, vibing, grabbing this, opening up a map, finding the area to go hunt for. We're in that area. A little Cecilia thing's going to pop out. He's going to start floating around. We're going to go grab some shit, and every time we grab a thing, we're going to get some coins. And that's it, baby. Living our best life. Now, why this event is the most important, my dudes, is because that little blue bastard, or pink or in gold, for whatever reason we can't see them, but it can be a pet that you attain. So essentially, the event's pretty straightforward. You just follow the Cecilia, just like the little wisps, pick up the thing, you'll get some random resources, maybe some trash artifacts, it could be good cannon fodder, as well as, actually yeah, this event could be really good for just like that, like just make it leveling up artifacts, if they continue to give you stuff, if you can just keep doing this over and over and over again. Maybe, but the thing that does really suck big time is that you can only attain one of the pets. The blue one, the rose one, which is gold, or which is pink, and then the gold one, which is like a yellow. I don't know, man. I wanted to go for the gold one just because I have so many Geo characters that it makes sense to kind of like go true to form, but the blue one looks just nice. It looks like objectively just good. The rose one also looks badass, but I would want all of them, but unfortunately you can only choose one pet, which I kind of think is hilarious because people are going to probably get territorial, be like, oh, you're pink gang? Fuck yeah. You're blue gang? Fuck, let's do this. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. But I think I'm going to go blue, even though well, it depends. I don't know, it's stupid, it doesn't matter. It's a pet that literally just hovers around your shoulder and probably, yeah, it's like a Paimon 2.0 except more stupid and all that. But it's a pet nevertheless, and that means in the future we can get more pets. And this pet may look like fugly and stupid right now, but in the future, when you have dragons and shit, you could pop out this little stupid orb and be like, yeah, I was here from the beginning when everything was kind of meh, but it got better. It's a lesson in history. But yeah, by the way, this is coming out pretty damn soon. This is coming out on the 8th, which is on a Friday, which is this Friday, which hopefully I can get this out tomorrow, which means it's tomorrow. The event's going live tomorrow. You need to be adventure rank 20 to apply, and of course have finished the first act, the Outliner Who Caught the Wind, which is really early on. But yeah, if you got to level 20 and you didn't do this, weird shit, dude, weird shit. In fact, no, I don't even know how you do that. Maybe do every side quest imaginable, but that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Anyways, because in order to get, you need to get to adventure rank 12 in order to get to daily bounties, and I'm pretty sure you do this. Anyways, not important me. Jeez. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what y'all have come to the video for, and it breaks my heart, guys. Just like when I did the whole spirit bomb of sucking in your luck, and I was able to get decent drops. I need your just, what is it called? Will, force of will. I need all of the strength you have because it is going to suck. For those guys who do not know, I was on the GANYU train from the start. Not to be that guy, but I was there, man. As soon as I seen her again, it's kind of cringy because I feel like that dumbass who's like, I genuinely like her style, and then people are like, she's got a fat ass, and I'm like, well, that too, but also she looks fantastic because of the way she's made. For anyone who likes style, or not fashion, I wouldn't say, but style, everything that her character is made is just immensely well. If you know how to do, if you know anything about lines, shape creation in terms of clothing, it's just brilliant. The fact that she has this thing going down, this piece of fabric, but then they instead of it just being flesh or whatever, and her basically wearing nothing like 90% of the characters in the game. Not really, they're pretty close. But instead they put this mesh on her, and also then because of that tiny line going down, you see her hips pop out, and most of the player models are not that insane in this game, but that's a great way to showcase like, hey, hips, all these things. And then you have this little detail on the thigh which draws you in. If it was just plain, then it would just, your eye wouldn't go anywhere. But the fact that there's that detail, it pulls you even closer into that shape of the hip. Anyway, sorry, just me. But also, her personality is fantastic and all these things, although she is very much a goat, and we're going to get into that in a hot minute. But essentially, ladies and gentlemen, just a little quick thing, I'm not going to roll. I wish I could. If I was a person who was smooth sailing, or one of these fucking Twitch people who just has like 50 subs, and they could just subsidize an eighth of that and then spend on the banner, I probably would. But it's, again, we'll talk about it later, but if you're in my same boat where it just doesn't make a lot of sense to swing for GANYU in terms of like how she fits in your team, materials that you don't have, but man, it's gonna be such a pain, because again, out of all of the characters in this game, she is the one that I think looks the most stylistic and the one I like the most. And that's not waifu weirdness, it's again, like I described, it's the way her whole thing comes together that I think is really clever. Like, this is one of the most well-made characters, period. Not because of anything besides the clothes that they gave her, and all of those things. I think that it's just crazy. If you know anything about style and stuff like that, it's just like, they fucking killed it. They did every rule in the book, and they killed it. We're gonna get into her stats in a minute, but I thought I'd let you guys enjoy the trailer that they released, which is absolutely lovely. So as always, I'm gonna let you guys just run through it, and I'll shut up.
The night scenes of Liyue, the lantern light of centuries. Only I know that this rising star has come far in the millennium past. Only I remember the hours at which dew forms on the glazed lilies and disappears again. 106,327 heartbeats. The time that has passed since I last knew rest. Packing up the stalls, closing up the pavilions. One can almost hear the street lights going out. It is as it is night after night, ever so distant from me. The night of Liyue, over. Now that you know the secrets of the night, would you accompany me to work overtime? No way!
Yes. Paimon's like, fuck your bullshit. Alright, we already have 50 things to do. Actually, we don't, Paimon. We have like dailies, and that's it. So that'd be fine. You got anything more for me to do? I'm coming from I'm bored, and other people are coming from a simp standpoint, but hey, I also vibe with that a little bit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, weird thing, just subliminal things that I think they didn't, well, they kind of introduced it in the story, but when they first introduced GANYU, at least to me, if I remember correctly, she was basically like, hey, go to this place, and then she forgot to tell you how to get there, and then she seemed like super distraught by the idea that she failed. And that's because we come to find out that she's super into her job. And also, she's basically an analytics expert. So for Liyue, all of the money transactions, communication strings, the happening of Liyue, she's got a finger on the pulse when it comes to that. Now, also, she is an Adeptus plus a human. I don't know if that means maybe she's like Rex Lapis's daughter, because she seemed really into Rex Lapis. I probably don't check out, but hopefully we meet the Adeptus that was her father, or at least have any sort of understanding of that. But regardless, she is an Adeptus and a human. All of the Adeptus energies in her thighs. Second thing, she is basically an immortal. She lives such a long time. With the fact in the trailer that she says, like, I had my heartbeat a million times. Like, it's like, what? You're keeping track of your heartbeats, you weird fuck? Anyways, but that's her job. Her job is to be the math queen, basically, the person who understands all the going-ons, and as well as analytics. Which is hilarious, because, you know, yeah, it's a badass cryo archer, fucks with math. Let's go. Also, a lot of people who are reading this, she's a goat, so she's a vegetarian, so she doesn't eat meat, as well as, I'm not sure if that means you cannot feed her dishes that are meat-oriented. That'd be an interesting thing to add, because no other character has that kind of hindrance, but I'd be fine with it. I think it'd be a little kind of interesting way of being like, fuck. Alright, I need to find a way to farm food specifically for GANYU. Jesus Christ. Also, most food in the game is like lettuce with some meat or whatever, so hopefully they'll just be like, you know, she just skips the meat, she just moves it to the side, all that stuff. But yes, for those guys who do not know, GANYU is a bow user. She's also cryo-based. She's also affiliated with the, basically with Leeway, the Nin Wong's kind of governmental structure kind of thing. Yes, but GANYU is responsible for a lot of the tasks that many people don't see. The calculation and data behind Leeway. Yes, a lot of people don't know how much work she does. She constantly is moving, constantly working, insanely wonderful and valuable, regardless. The other thing I wanted to mention about her story is I think that's the thing they're hinting at within the main story, is that she is like a workaholic. She's fantastic. She's always moving because she's an adeptus, so she doesn't need to sleep, and she's also has like an abnormal strength and all these things. But I think because she has lived so long and she does have a human vessel, like a human body, her mind is kind of like flimsy a little bit in the sense that she forgets things, you know? She's basically like a grandma, but doesn't have the body of it's a whole thing. It's a really fucked up mental game. Honestly, again, Venti people say is the most beautiful looking character in the game in terms of female aesthetic, which I would kind of agree with. Each daybreak, she stands by the docks enjoying her breakfast in silence. She will return to the and do all her work. I got it. I think this is also something that's probably subliminally in her friendship tree, but because she's probably lived so long, this is gonna make sense. She's like the person who talks about everybody. She's like yeah. GANYU? Oh, vegetarian, right? She doesn't come to the very often, but when she does, she sits alone in the corner and eats her meals in total silence. Poor girl. She seems kind of lonely. They're trying to bait you. They're trying to bait you. And it's already, they don't even need to. I know they don't even need to at this point. I always give her an extra large portion because I feel sorry for her. Well, that's fucked. Anyways, funny thing is, she eats every last bit, every time. I wouldn't have guessed that she'd have such an appetite just by looking at her. You don't fucking see them. Sorry. But again, what I'm assuming is the fact that, again, she's lived an abnormally long time. So I think that's kind of like, it plays into her probably subliminal story, which is the fact that I bet her like actual companion story is to the effect of, I've had friends, I've had loved ones, and I outlive all of them. So I just keep my distance because it's just going to be pain and suffering. So I just do my job, and I try to help people, and that's how I give my life meaning, and I can't really have friends because it just ends up being painful for me. I could see that being her story. Could be way off, but it kind of seems like it makes sense. Anyways, voice actors are fantastic. Hello is, copy that. There is a draft agreement in your review. Effective immediately. In all orders. Wait a sec. I forgot to sign it. They're right. Now, what was it I needed to do for you exactly? Oh, geez. Oh, no. That's like Alzheimer's. Okay. Well, okay. That's a little rough. Good afternoon. I need a nap. If there aren't any urgent matters, I'll excuse myself. Weird. That's your like greeting? Good afternoon. I've been working 10 days straight. Bye. I'm tired. About GANYU, my job is to honor my contract to Rex Lapis by looking out for the interests of the living things in Leeway Harbor. Or Leeway. That's lovely. Again, I feel like it'll be really interesting to see. Well, it doesn't matter. There are plenty of people who have connections in your party that don't interact with each other. Maybe in the future that'd be something that they'd add. But yeah, the idea that GANYU is in like Zhongli. Spoiler, but Zhongli's Rex Lapis, they're gonna be like, hey, like Zhongli could be like, hey, chill out, it's fine, fucking do whatever, live your life. Why you listen, fuck your contract, please. I know it's his thing, I wouldn't do that, but still, you lore fanatics. But GANYU thinks that their pellets are tasty. Okay, so she likes a weird flower. Yes, because she's a goat. She's a goat, she eats flowers, it all adds up, it's weird, but it's great. She wants to be worthy of what which is enjoyed in Leeway. Oh. GANYU's hobbies are supposed to be things you look forward to doing and makes you feel good when you're doing them. Going by that logic, GANYU's hobby is her job, of course. Of course she is. Jesus Christ. Alright. But yeah, she's a workaholic, that whole thing. But yeah, you know, she's a workaholic, but like, is she the best in her job? She's real old, and I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. Is that a spider on my wall? Are you fucking shitting me? That's right by my bed. That's fucked. Oh, no. Oh, ruined my day. Oh, should we really be off working this early? There is still a lot left to do. GANYU, you not only you're dragging everyone down with you. That's fucked. You had that employee that's like, yeah. Or like this kid in the fucking class that's like, what? Could we have 2 homeworks? And then I'm gonna fuck you up. so mad. Not because I wouldn't do it, because I did do it and it was hard as shit for me, and you gotta like do it in 10 minutes and fuck off and play. I had to do it for an hour because you fucking are whiz. Anyways, this is the meat of the potatoes of GANYU. Arguably that other stuff is just as valuable, but oh my god, also why is everyone, I've seen some other people pull this shit up and it looked like dirty as hell, like low pixel animation. This looks pretty clean. Anyway, regardless, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. So for those guys who do not know, and we're gonna get into the kind of the actual reason, like, because again, you're like, Grin, why didn't you get her? For me, and I think for a lot of you guys, you're probably either maybe low on resources, and that's kind of how the functionality of Genshin works, is you go on a banner, and then you probably skip a banner. And if you skip a banner, then that gives you time, the month, basically 30 days or whatever, being able to be like, okay, I'm going to grind some, use some of my resin not to like level this character up or get their ascension material, but instead to do experience books, get my stockholder of that back up, maybe grind some more, maybe give some love to the characters that are just kind of my supports that I'm not using. Maybe I can get a little farther in Spiral Abyss, and it kind of functions like that. Genshin's really weirdly an ecosystem. But regardless, I just got Albedo, and I'm kind of in the place where I think about her kit, and I think about everything that she is, and she works for some people's builds for sure, but the build that I currently have, which I've invested everything into, she doesn't fit in at all. And I also don't know if she's very much like a specific kind of selfish DPS in that sense. But with that being said, she is not, if you do happen to get her or you do happen to swing with her, she's not a bad support by any means. In fact, her abilities look really, really good. It's just her abilities function within themselves hard. So it's not just like Oz, where Oz you just throw out, and Oz is like its own thing, its own fantastic thing. She does have a couple abilities which we'll go over that look really good, but they're good, like they're okay support abilities, but they're nothing like an Oz, nothing like something like an Albedo's thing. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. For the people who already just love her based on her aesthetic and they're just gonna be building your team around her because you like the style and everything so much, respect, love it. I don't have that much disposable income, so I can't do that, but much love, let me hear about it so I can vicariously live through you. But her first talent, and the thing that you are going to be doing constantly with GANYU in order to actually, I think, profit with her, is her aim down sights. Now, yes, there are archers in the game, but unlike other archers who just get one buff from charging their arrow, she gets two. So you guys can see that she, right there, charge, pop, and then fire. So the first one just does a good bit of splash damage of cryo, but then the other one kind of puts down a cryo on the ground, it seems, and just has a way bigger blast radius. And we can actually read what it does right here. Charge level 1, fire an ice arrow that deals cryo damage. Cool. Charge level 2, fires a frost flake arrow that deals cryo damage. A frost flake arrow blooms after hitting its target, dealing AO geo damage, or cryo damage. Sorry, not geo. I thought that was how every ice thing worked. I think it just gives it a bigger radius. Yeah, because I think a charge shot for fire is, I thought, like a tiny AOE. That's why you charge it, outside of just applying the element. But regardless, if that is the case, then I didn't know that, but cool. That's amazing. So yeah, you're always going to want to charge, and it doesn't seem like it's bad. It's like boom, boom, gun. Like go. Sorry, gun. Go. I will say, the only thing that's a bit shitty is that they are showing, like they're in water. Like that's not, the damage is going to be skewed because there's an elemental reaction taking place, but still, again, just based on her kit, we'll talk about it in a minute. Anyways, this is her other ability, which I actually did not see enough of, and it actually looks really good. Way better than Amber's, like, and you just get a fucking weird doll that's dancing and shit. I wish they would have showed us this from the beginning, but right there, boom. That's fast. I did not expect that to be that quick where you can just dip immediately, like, boom, you're gone. I thought, like, again, just like any other, like, defensive ability, usually it's like a jump, or it just takes a long time, but that happens quick. Not only that, but it almost seems like they don't even attack it. Well, that must have a super slow cooldown, because yeah, no one's attacking it, and it already blooms and fires. That's plenty of time. And the question is, how good will that be enough time for bosses? Maybe. So if you're fighting any of like the sphere bosses and you drop that down, will that be able to pop off and hit? Again, I don't think that's where her damage is going to be. I think that's where her survivability lies, because she's very squishy because she's an archer. And she's wearing nothing. Also, I didn't know that it had 2 deployments of cryo. So you get cryo on the place where you just were, where you're standing, and then it pops with a bunch of damage that's also cryo. Fantastic. And of course, her ability, which I don't know, I don't want to say anything too quick, but it does look like the radius got nerfed. It doesn't look like it's that much, but maybe it is. I don't know. But I wish they would have showed us in greater detail what this actually, no, they don't. But the one thing that I did hear some people who were playing her in the beta tests or in the test servers were saying something to the effect of the way those tiny little frost spikes actually land, they will aim for the person, but that doesn't mean they hit all the time. Now that's yet to be seen. Maybe they tweak some things, but it does seem like it's kind of random where they're actually spewing out those ice shards. And maybe if there's a ton of people on the zone, it will like spread them out evenly. But I think it's going to work the same way as Albeto's ult, which when he activates his ult, it will put one explosive near a person, but then the other 8 will just kind of get spread out. Because yeah, some are like hitting GANYU behind her. So it doesn't make sense. Or maybe it's utterly random. That'd be interesting because maybe then you just like destroy a boss immediately, or not at all, and it would take a long time. Regardless, just an amazing thing that's going to keep applying cryo. So if you have a Diluc who constantly is spewing out a fire damage, then that could just activate a melt, activate a melt, and activate a melt, or all you need a water unit too, but I'm assuming some of you guys have that too. Regardless, awesome. Badass, wicked, all those things. So that's her ult, by the way. It has a huge radius, but I don't know if it's as huge as we've seen in the trailer, but whatever. Still amazing to know. And that is GANYU. So now we're going to get into some nitty-gritty things. I don't want to make a video talking just about GANYU, though, because there's a video usually comes out that we can see a lot of her abilities in greater detail and kind of see some things. But for that one ability that we just seen, her Constellation 2, not her ult, but her E, you actually get another one of those, the Blossom. When you activate her E, she sprints back, you get another one of those. And I'm not going to talk about the details of her kit, because I want to, again, make a video just theory crafting with you guys and about how insane she could potentially be, which everyone kind of knows how absurd she probably will be. But another reason why I'm not swinging on this banner is because if you looked at Zhongli's or any of the previous 5 stars, it seems like their power is like when their constellations isn't something like, hey, gives you 500 times the damage, and you're like, wait, if that to me, I read that and I think, okay, well then the base damage of whatever you're dealing has to not be that good, because if it was that good and you gave 500 more damage, then it just gets stupid. Like it'd make no sense. So when I look at GANYU's constellations, there are some things that make me think, oh, okay, I wonder how good your ult will be without that constellation, because that constellation brings it to a whole new level, and it seems like it just keeps making her better. You know what I mean? Like there's some things where the constellations let you take a different route, like Albedo, you could just go full defense if you have a certain thing. And maybe you don't have constellation, so you shouldn't go that defense, whatever it may be. Yeah, it just seems like she gets better at what she already kind of is supposed to do, which to me would mean that her at a base level would be good, but maybe not insane. And her constellation, I kind of think, may be the reason why some of her abilities may not be scaled as a crazy amount, or to a crazy amount. But there are characters like Venti. Well, no, Venti's a bad example. But Venti performs even with 0 constellation, but he also just weakens enemies against everything with constellation. So that's another reason why I'm not getting her, is because I feel like you'll have to, like, you'll get her, and then you'll be like, wait, I want her to be even better, and then you roll even more for her, and I can't have that. I'm not at the point where I can drop $300 on the game to get a max constellation character, or not even max constellation, but pretty good constellation for the character. But yes, we'll go into her kit and her constellations at a later date. The one thing that is kind of weird when I was talking about her E has a 10-second cooldown, but it lasts 6 seconds. But it has a 10-second cooldown. Now again, if you have Constellation 2, you get another one of those, but it's still quite a long cooldown, so it's not something you can actually use as a support ability, it seems. But her charge attack gives a shit ton of cryo, so if you ever need to apply cryo, that would be the way you'd probably do it. But just something to note. Also, it doesn't seem to scale entirely well, but that could change based on crit stuff. But the percentage of the damage just looks like it's 200%, which is nothing crazy. Then again, I think it does have 2 detonates, so you detonate when you drop it, and then it actually blows up, and that's both damages. So maybe it's actually like 400% because both, whatever. I don't know. But guys, I don't know, man. The worst part about, like, again, because my excuses for not getting GANYU is that she doesn't slot into my team. She doesn't like fit anywhere with the current roster that I have. Again, with like a Zhongli and an Albedo, I don't know how they'll synergize, because Zhongli needs to be close with his 1.3 buffs for his shield, and you're supposed to be pretty far away with GANYU, so it doesn't make sense. You know, it does make sense, Xiao. But Xiao, I think Xiao looks awesome, but not any, again, bar none, there's no one that looks even close to GANYU in terms of her style and the way they like, yeah, it's just insane. Again, I talked about it. I probably cut it out because it's cringe, because it looks like a person who's like, you just think this, but I'm like, okay, sure, that too, but also this. I think that's equally as interesting and a neat thing. But to play devil's advocate, I could always get GANYU and then just wait to level her up, and then I'd have her, but I'd have the ability to go invest if I wanted to. But right now, if you don't get her, that means you have to wait like 4 or 5 months, probably even more than that, till they do a return banner, which is rough. Is rough, and at that point, would you want her as much? Probably. Yeah, honestly, I hope eventually that they do add those characters into the random pool of characters that you can attain. But yeah, man, shit, fuck, shit, fuck. Feels bad because I keep going back and forth in my head. It's gonna be so fucking annoying because so many videos are gonna come out of this character being fantastic, and we already know she's gonna be good because her and Xiao are both what most people need right now. Which most people, the one thing that you need in this game is DPS, a good one. If you just put all your investment into that and you just have decent supports, you can function immensely well with that damage. That can help you get through the bosses to get everyone else up, but you need to be able to deal enough damage. You can also heal a little bit, but you can get by with healing with food. I'm just playing really cautiously. So again, these next 2 banners are going to be huge for people, I think. And yes, I just really hope. I don't know what I hope. I just hope I have the strength of will to be like, you know what, it's fine. We don't need. But I feel like in the back of my head, I have that shit voice that's like, well, okay, here we go. What if we budget a little bit and we spend all of our primos? And then and maybe we get her. And if we don't, then we'll just keep rolling on the banner. And if we don't get her at the very end of the month with all the primo that's to come, hopefully we would get her in that instance. And then on Xiao we spend the money. But then that means I just have a character that I spend all my primos on that I can't actually invest in. So it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Man, I wish I was one of these fucking Twitch motherfuckers. I know you guys think that too. We're like, oh, you guys everything. Not me. Well, maybe me. I got lucky with some of my 5-star, sure, but yeah, man, that means so many people showcasing this. What is it? Coco Goat, which by the way, I totally think is actually what happened. I think GANYU, because she's so prolific in Liyue Harbor, I think she probably gave Chi-Chi a coconut, and therefore Chi-Chi is like, Coco Goat. I would assume that's the case. Maybe it's not, but I would just assume that's what's going down. Also, why can't stop showing me shit like that? For all y'all motherfuckers also who want ape shit for Zhongli, give people a break when it comes to GANYU, alright? Y'all were the same, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be a hard 30 days. Not only for me, but for some of you. Yuck, I know. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. This was us covering the new event, The Lost Treasure, which is absolutely worth doing it. A cute little companion. Love it. Hopefully they add more of those in the future. Also, a character that is going to be one that I'm going to try to skip. But man, it'd be cool just to have the... Yeah. Stop. Oh, man. If only. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for your time. It's going to be a hard month. 2 videos over there. Further subscribe button that way too. Let me know what you guys think, and honestly, what you're going to do. Are you guys in the same boat as me, where you're like, I don't have the resources. Also, she doesn't fit anywhere in my team, and Xiao fits in perfectly, and yeah. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those moments where I feel like I may have to make the right choice, but not the choice I want to make. Does that make sense? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.